This is Tracy Dysart with Provident Designs. Today, I will show you how I designed an Access application that allows some flexibility in complex payroll calculations. My client, Aaron, owns a kiosk business where he has several stores at different locations. His employees are salespeople who are paid on commission. Aaron had several business problems he was trying to resolve. First, he paid his employees every week, and it took him 1.5 days every week to calculate his payroll in Excel. Not because Excel wasn't a good tool, but because he had so many variables in how he calculated it. Each employee had a different situation, and Aaron wanted maximum flexibility in how he paid them. I created an Access application that calculates the payroll in seconds. It still takes half a day to enter all of the sales data each week, but the Access application makes the data entry easier, so he was able to delegate the data entry to an employee, thus freeing up more of his time. When Aaron had too many variables to control for different employees, I added drop-down boxes to give him maximum flexibility and control. Aaron also had a difficult time seeing trends because the historical data was in separate Excel spreadsheets, one per week. With a database, the historical data is organized all in one place, so it's really easy to create reports to show trends. And lastly, Aaron wanted his payroll data to be exported to Excel for further analysis, which is what I'm going to show you now. First, I need to mention that this kiosk business is in Mexico, so most of the labels are in Spanish, although I did change a few for this demo, and it will also explain why the tax methods are not the same as in the US. Let me also explain the basic structure of these files. In Access Solutions, we always separate the front-end application file from the back-end database file. I also have a templates folder where the user has created a blank but formatted template that he wants to be populated with data from Access. This template will be copied and saved to a new location, then populated with data. Now on to the demo. I will open the application file and log in. On the simplified main menu, the top left button is where the user enters the sales data at each location for each employee. I won't show this screen today. Over on the right, we can set up the details for each employee, and we can also customize the drop-down boxes. The Pay Employees screen calculates the commissions for each employee and then exports the payment data to Excel. I will start with customizing the drop-down boxes. Here, the business owner can customize the application so he doesn't have to come back to me every time he wants to make a small change to the application. This allows for some customization. I mentioned before about the different complexities that Aaron wanted to track for his employees. One of them relates to housing. Aaron's employees sometimes stay in company-owned apartments, and he deducts the rent from their weekly paychecks. Here, he can add a new apartment and the rent amount, and it will show up in a drop-down box on the employee screen, which I will show you in a moment. Similarly, he can add new locations as needed, where he might have opened up a new store. So now I will show you the employee screen where I can explain why some of the calculations are complicated. These aren't real employee names, it's just test data. This screen is a bit cluttered because Aaron wanted to see all of this information on the screen at the same time, but I'll just explain the drop-down boxes and how they allow flexibility in the payroll calculations. The drop-down boxes enable Aaron to vary the calculations by employee, but he only has to set it up one time. There are 3 different choices for calculating the sales commissions, so the math is different based on what is selected here. There are also 3 different ways of calculating taxes, along with the tax percentage. Below, we have a commission structure, which can vary by location. If the employee's sales totals fall between a certain range, that indicates the commission percentage that they will receive. At the bottom of the screen is the rent that might be due. And you can see the apartment that I added on the other screen along with the rent amount. On the right, we have the various ways that an employee likes to be paid, including check or electronic transfer, and he can even set a different percentage for each. Once everything is set up for each employee, the user only has to enter the weekly sales data at each location for each employee. This is where the half day of data entry is spent per week. To calculate the weekly commissions, we go to the Pay Employees screen. Again, this screen is a bit cluttered since Aaron wanted to be able to see all of the information on one screen. The relevant button is Calculate Commissions. When this button is clicked, it will add a new row in the Transaction section. The commission will be based on how much the employee sold that week, and remember there's a sliding scale for the commission percentage. After clicking the button, we can see that this employee's commission percentage was 12% after working 4 days and selling $9,200. The commission earned is $1,104. We can also add other expenses to the paycheck, such as rent. Up at the top, we see the paycheck summary information, which includes the sales before and after taxes, the commission earned, any other deductions or bonuses, and the tax, and the net amount of the paycheck. On the right, we can calculate the form of payment, which you remember we designated on the employee screen. 75% check and 25% transferred to the bank account. Lastly, we can export the payroll information to Excel for further analysis. So here I'll just choose the payday. And here's where it makes a copy of the template and asks me where I want to save it. And it's done. And let's go take a look. On this summary screen, it lists every employee and all of the relevant numbers that were defined, the percentage commission earned, the amount sold before and after taxes, the rent and other deductions, etc. This screen shows sales by location, and this one shows all transactions listed out. So as you can see, this shows how you can easily export data to Excel in a predefined format. I want to explain one more element of complexity that I provided for Aaron. He wanted the flexibility to be able to add new columns. There are some set transaction types, like these, but he also wanted to be able to add his own to the far right of the Excel spreadsheet. Let me show you how that works. First, a new transaction type is added. Here is a list of the transaction types, and they're listed and marked whether they add to an employee's paycheck or remove from a paycheck. So a bonus, for example, adds to the paycheck, where rent subtracts from the paycheck. So I'm going to add a new transaction type. And make that a bonus. And I'm going to say I want that going to column Z. So now that I've set up that transaction type, I'm going to select that transaction when I pay the employee. So here, this is the type I just set up that's going to end up in column Z. I'm selecting that. Let me choose a new amount. I'm going to give them $750. And then when that's exported to Excel, we can see that that amount got added to the Excel spreadsheet at the very end. So this is a way that we can add more complexity and flexibility to the Excel export without having to involve the programmer. Okay. I'm going to close out of the demo now. Now that I've shown you the kiosk application, let me mention some of the benefits it gave to Aaron. First, his weekly payroll time was reduced from 1.5 days to only half a day, and he was able to delegate that to an employee. Second, through drop-down boxes, he was able to have a variety of choices for how he paid his employees. Third, his historical data was all in one place, making it easier to create reports to see trends. Fourth, the data was exported to Excel for further analysis. In addition to those benefits, Aaron has a solid database design. The database is the foundation for the application. If that foundation is not built correctly, it can cause problems later on. A solid database design ensures that the application will continue to work well for daily activities. It stores data safely, and when Aaron wants to add new features in the future, the database will be able to handle the additions without having to be restructured. These are additional benefits that Aaron doesn't realize or probably appreciate, but they are important. Another benefit is that Access, when properly designed, is the fastest and therefore the least expensive tool to create business databases and applications. I'm Tracy Dysart, and I started Provident Designs because I love to help businesses solve problems. If you have a similar problem and need someone to help you create a solution, please contact me at hello@providentdesigns.com. Thanks for watching.